What is up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. Today we are breaking down the Baylor-Texas Tech game. I think that game is going to be a ton of fun. But before we get into this, if you could like, subscribe, that would really mean a lot as I'm trying to grow this channel. But if you want to wait to the end, see my body of work, that's okay too. I completely understand it because I don't like to jump on people's bandwagons at the very beginning either, as you saw with my last Michigan video. Like, I wasn't ready to say that they're the best team ever. And you know what? You guys might not be ready to say I'm the best YouTuber ever yet. And that is cool. You can wait till the end, and then you can you subscribe then, all right? Let's go. So, Baylor, red hot, no losses, coming off a nice win against TCU, I believe was their last game, because unfortunately we saw the West Virginia game got canceled. I was waiting for that one, man. But you know what? It is what it is. And Texas Tech is also pretty hot right now. After coming off that big win against Texas. What a game. That Texas Tech-Texas game is probably the most entertaining basketball game of this short college basketball season, at least in my opinion. If you think that there's a different one, drop it in the comments. Let's first take a look at these teams' resume, okay? Baylor obviously has no losses, while Texas Tech has lost to Houston, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. Lost to Houston by 11, Kansas was by 1, Oklahoma State by 5. All of those, I think, are okay losses. Oklahoma State is a decent basketball team. They're playing well right now. Kansas is Kansas. And Houston, I think, is one of the better teams in college basketball, even without Caleb Mills. But they played him when they had Caleb Mills, when Houston had Caleb Mills, okay? So that none of those losses are okay, this team maybe is a suspect team. Texas Tech, I think, is a very good basketball team. They play good offense. They play great defense. Baylor plays even better defense and much better offense. Baylor, I would say, is the more complete team. But let's also look at Baylor's, best wins are Illinois and Oklahoma. If you ask me, I would say Texas Tech has by far the better resume. Other than Illinois and Oklahoma, Baylor has not played, that many great teams. While Texas Tech's played Houston, Kansas, Texas, and Oklahoma. Well, they both played Oklahoma, so I'm not going to say that one. But Texas, Kansas, Houston are all top 10 teams or have been top 10 teams. They're playing some solid competition, okay? And they just came off that win against Texas. And yes, you could make the argument that Texas probably should have won that game. And they probably should have. But if you ask Texas Tech's locker room that, they're not going to say that Texas probably should have won that. They are riding high right now. They got a ton of momentum going into facing the number 2 team at home. It kind of smells like a trap to me. The betting lines aren't out yet, but my guess is it's going to be less than 5 points. Baylor the favorite. If you went back and watched that TCU game on Saturday, Baylor didn't look great. I got to admit, Baylor did not look great. You take Jared Butler out of there, Baylor looked bad. Jared Butler, he pops off for 28 points. They win by, I think, almost 20 points. They ended up winning by a lot, but TCU played them close for a good 30 minutes. And the supporting cast for Jared Butler didn't do great. Now, they do have a 3-headed monster, Mitchell, Teague, Butler. Those guys are all good on any given night. Those guys could pop off. I think that game was just an anomaly, but that is not how you want to be playing heading into one of, the hottest teams in the country's arena. And I'm saying they're the hottest team in the country, one of them, because of how they just beat Texas. Mac McClung's just declining interviews with, Fran Fraschilla because he wants to go party with his boys.
Chris Beard said, give it to Mac. What's that feeling like in terms of the confidence?
My teammates are telling me I got to go. I respect you a lot, Fran. You're the man. Okay. But I got to go celebrate my teammates.
Good job, man. You go celebrate.
Yes,
we
sir.
got you.
Yes, sir.
No one blows off Fran Fraschilla, but you know what? We're going to cut him some slack.
I'll get even later in the year.
This team's riding high, and they're pretty confident right now. I don't think that if you ask them, there's not a team in the country that could beat them. Now, I don't necessarily believe that. There are a couple teams that could beat this team. But anyways, let's keep it going. So, Baylor TCU game close. Baylor pulled away, ends up winning by double digits. Yeah, all is fine. Statistically, all is fine. If you take Jared Butler's statistics out there, he's responsible for 40% of the scoring that game. I don't think that TCU or that Baylor's going to win if Jared Butler has to score 40% of Baylor's points against Texas Tech. But that's just me. Texas Tech plays phenomenal defense. They're really long pretty much everywhere. They've got some big guards. Now, the height thing did concern me a little bit, going up against guys like Flo Thamba and Jonathan Chamwa-Chachua. Apologize if I slaughtered that name. It is not an easy name to say. So while I was concerned for Texas Tech and their size before, they do a great job of defending bigger guys. Texas Tech, or University of Texas, has big guys up front. Jericho Sims big, Greg Brown's big, Kai Jones big. they got some big, long guys, and Texas Tech held their own. They held their own and ended up winning. So I'm not really concerned about that. And as of recently, like Chamo Chachua and Flo Thamba, they have not made that big of an impact. And yeah, maybe it's because this team's pretty guard dominant. But those guys, if you lose track of them, they can change games. We saw it kind of against Illinois, where Chamo Chachua was just making life miserable for Illinois. On the offensive glass, he was everywhere. And if he does something like that, yeah, the odds are definitely tilt heavier in Baylor's favor. I don't know if you guys have looked at it yet, but on the, according to ESPN's Basketball Power Index, they're giving Baylor about a 59.3% chance to win. And, because of that, Texas Tech has about a 40.7 chance to win. So there's a chance. Like, this game is almost a toss-up. A little bit tilted in Baylor's favor, but my guess is that the spread is going to be pretty small. Like, it's probably only going to be a few points at most. Now, while I think that this game could be really close, of course, Baylor does have the chance to run away with it. And I'm not saying that will happen, but there is also a world where it does happen. I don't see Texas Tech winning by a blowout. I think that it's going to be a close game, but Baylor has so much potential, and coming off a game where they're not playing well, they could be even motivated to step their game up, coming into a hostile environment where there will be some fans. There have been fans in Lubbock. I don't know how many fans are going to be at the game, but, it's definitely something to consider. I'm looking forward to a really close game. No matter what, I think it's going to be an entertaining game, especially with what happened last time we saw Texas Tech play, one of the top teams in the country. And they have a chance to even more solidify their resume. Texas Tech, obviously a tournament team, obviously one of the better teams in basketball. But I don't think anybody thinks of them as a, top level team yet. They're kind of just thinking, maybe they're a dangerous team, but they could also, have some slip ups. But I think that Texas Tech's going to go into this game just mentally ready for some war, ready to get it done. I think that this game is going to be close. That is my ultimate end-all, be-all prediction. I think, the smart person in me wants to say that Baylor wins, but I really think Texas Tech is dangerous right now. They're waking up like Baker Mayfield, feeling dangerous, right? They're a good team. They play great defense. They defend bigger guys. And I think the big guards are going to give, Butler, Teague, Mitchell, a lot of issues. I really do. Chris Beard has a team that is bought into the system, and maybe besides Illinois, who was not playing great basketball and still not is playing great basketball. Let's be honest. I'm a huge Illinois fan, so it sucks to say this. This is the best team that Baylor is going to have faced so far. A real test for both teams. Bottom line here, I'm thinking, every bit of me thinks that the smart move is to pick Baylor here. Because, Baylor's good. They're undefeated. But watching that TCU game, if you actually watch that TCU game, Baylor did not look great. Jared Butler looked really good. But Texas Tech has a much better defensive scheme than TCU does. And offensively, Texas Tech is far better than TCU as well. And I know that basing this all off of one game is, not necessarily the smartest thing to do. But it's the most recent game that we have. That shows what form these teams are playing in. And right now, Texas Tech is red hot, riding super high on this confidence that they have after knocking off, the number 4 team in the country. They probably don't think that anybody can beat them right now. And I'm not going to tell them different because they've proven that they can hang with some big dogs. And so Baylor, I think that they're in for some trouble. Like, Texas Tech's defensive scheme, these guys are bought in to Chris Beard's scheme. Like, he does a phenomenal job coaching their defense. And offensively, they're very skilled as well. Much better than TCU, both sides. And so, if you actually watch the TCU game, like, nobody but Jared Butler really played well. And that's got to be worrisome to people down there in Waco. If you're a Baylor fan, you got to be worried about that. And going based off of that, I like Texas Tech, and I understand that it's probably not the smart pick. But I really like Texas Tech in this game. And again, Baylor could win it, but I like Texas Tech. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. This could just go the way the Michigan game went, but I'm going based off of what I've seen. And what I've seen so far is Texas Tech's playing some good basketball. And based off of Baylor's last game, they left me with more questions than answers. And I know that they've proven it over the course of this year that they're a good team, and they are a good team. They could easily win it. But Texas Tech's not just going to roll over. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who do you guys have winning? Going to be a fun game. I'm interested to come back here Saturday and read all of your comments. I suppose that even when I get it wrong, they're all just going to be nice. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time, all right?